Hello and welcome to the end of the year book tag. This tag was originally created by Ariel Bissett. I was tagged by Pat at BookChat at Pat. I was also tagged by Gavin from Genre Books. And I was tagged by Kevin at Kevin Toll Reads. The questions. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? There are always books that I need to finish. There are a number of the ghost story books that I started that I would like to complete. If you haven't seen my wrap up for Ghosts of Christmas Past, the books I've mentioned are in there. I still have some books from 2023 that I need to finish. Part of that is as I'm going through the books, I'm also making notes to get into that big Da Vinci Spiral project and other things. So it isn't that I'm not enjoying the reads, it's I need to have the time to sit and maybe start summarizing chapter by chapter with some of them. Number 2, do you have any autumn book to transition into the end of the year? I'm a mood reader, so I don't really have any seasonal books necessarily that I read other than Halloween, and I now have a few Christmas books, but I don't really have transitional books. I just read whatever grabs my interest at whatever time of year. Number 3, is there a new release you're still waiting for? No, I typically don't read current books. I've read a few, and there may over time be some new releases that come up, but not at the moment. There are a few author/booktubers that I'd like to check out their works, and I think they're all released now, so that's about the closest I get to that. Number 4, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? I always have more than 3, but there are some that I want to definitely finish in the next little while. The first book is The Five. This is The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper. This is by Hallie Rubenhold. I saw a review of this on Leslie's channel, Books, Gers, and Purrs. I'm very much enjoying as far as I've gotten into it, partly because the author does a great job of talking about the Victorian era. She gives us the years. She really gives us a sense of what the world was like during these events. And I'm now into reading about the first soon-to-be victim of Jack. I don't typically follow current true crime. There's a lot of reasons I don't. But the older ones, yes. Jack the Ripper, partly because they never found out who he was, is something that I find, I don't know if I'd really say interesting, but it's an unsolved mystery kind of delving into putting the pieces together. So I want to get this finished before 2025. Another book I definitely want to finish is Where the Ghosts Are. This is the ultimate guide to haunted houses. This is by Hans Holzer, who was a parapsychologist, very popular in the field a number of years ago. I want to finish this because I have his big book of ghosts, and I've noticed that some of the stories in here come up in there, so I want to delve into and look more at those. Another book, because it's a fairly quick read, Calm the Down. And yes, it does bother me that there is so much profanity in this book. And yes, it was one of the things that grated on my nerves in fourth wing as well. But sadly, even though I used to tell my students, like, build your vocabulary, learn more words, this is what seems to come up in a lot of new writing and just everyday language for most people. So I'm not crazy about the profanity in it, but she did have a lot of good tips. How to control what you can and accept what you can't so you can stop freaking out and get on with your life. And my anxiety the last few weeks has been up and off the Richter scale, depending on the day, so it might be a good time to read this. I'm working on my positivity board. I've almost got it completed to show. That's why I'm kind of looking up. It's just above the screen. I still need to redo my career and confidence board. That will involve going through my workbook and answering my questions for the new year. Those are the main things that I want to finish before the end of the year. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Definitely not. Because this year, and you've seen this, if you've been following me for a bit, you've seen Blackwater a few times. I waited over 40 plus years to finish this series. It was originally published as 6 smaller books. My awesome husband bought me the 1-book collection that includes all 6. So I finally got to finish this series. So although I've read a number of amazing books this year, you can't top being able to finish a series after 40 years. Number 5, have you already started making reading plans for next year? Absolutely. There are different things I want to delve into, including finding the floor in my room and redoing my organizer on the closet behind me. And that in turn leads to my different reading plans because I want to get back to the Da Vinci Spiral and getting that all pulled together. In January, and I'm super excited about this, we'll be starting a group read along with my friend Ven from Ven's Corner. We've both made announcements about this. We're also being joined by Didi from The Virtues of Books and Laura, the Book Hermit. I believe there are a few other people who will be joining us, and I'm very excited about that. We're going to look at potentially 1 book a month because they're not small reads, and some we may end up spreading over a couple of months depending on how life and everything is going for the groups. We do have a Discord group that Ven and Noah look after. I don't have Discord because the name lives up to its meaning for me. We have a Voxer group that Ven has set up, and I have set up a chat room in Google Chat that people can join as well. So very excited about that. After April, I will be starting to read Dune with Farrah from Bookstalgic. Very excited about that. And we haven't set a date yet, but we finally together because we've both been wanting to read Dune for a while. So that will be coming up next year. Yes, I'm not picking small reads next year. There'll be bigger ones. So potentially I may not be reading as many new books, and that's okay because for the last 3 years I have met my Goodreads goals. As wild as it seems, I have read 100 books over each year. So I'm now up to over 300. I'm super excited about that. I've never read that many books before. This coming year may be a much smaller number, but that's okay because it's pulling information and things together. So I definitely have plans. I have my book events chart that I'm going to be updating. That will help me organize some of the books when I want to read some of them. Some I may end up reading before the events because, as I say, I'm a mood reader. So we'll see how that goes. I also have the yearly themes that I planned out this year. Again, I'll see whether I stick to reading throughout those themes or whether I grab books at another time. And we'll see when those books come up on my channel, because part of doing the themes was to try and decide when I'll feature certain books and commentaries on them. So we'll just have to wait and see how that all goes out. Since today is December the 20th when I'm recording this, I figure we're getting awfully close to the end of the year. So if you're watching this and you haven't done the tag and you would like to, please feel free to go ahead and do that. But I'm not going to tag anybody on this one because, like I say, it's time sensitive and a lot of people are crazy busy right now. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I've mentioned. Did you enjoy them? Are you interested in trying them out? And until next time, take good care.